What's going on, ladies and jackasses? We're out here once again in my garage because I want to. Also, we're going to show you guys how you can run your Polaris RZR in the winter in Minnesota comfortably. So just shut up and let's do some stuff in this off-road ATV slash UTV slash side-by-side edition of Wrench Sense.
The 2021 RZR. Full feature packed with excitement that you can have in your garage.
Anyway, 2021 RZR XP 1000 Premium 4-seater. We had this out yesterday. It's late November in Minnesota. It wasn't too bad as far as temps yesterday. It was almost 50 degrees, which is unheard of. But I thought I would take this opportunity, since it's pretty early in early winter, to show you guys how you can run your RZR off-road outdoors comfortably like we do. These machines are a pretty significant investment, so it's kind of a shame to have these sitting in your garage for, if you're in Minnesota, more than half the year. So we like to run these out, whenever we can and get our money's worth. Well, try to get our money's worth. And we're just going to show you what we do. So first thing, if you're going to run in Minnesota, you can just have a normal RZR, and then you can just pack on all the, snowmobile gear. So you're basically in a spacesuit and then running around. That's not comfortable for us, and it certainly limits what we can do inside the cab anyway. It limits our movement inside the cab and whatnot, if we're in a spacesuit to stay warm, and so that's not fun. The most important thing I would say is a windshield, and I would say this is important all year for us, and we wanted a full windshield because we don't want that constant blast of air in your face, when you're going down the road, and we like to drive quickly. And honestly, in my opinion, if you're not wearing a helmet, these machines are almost useless without a windshield. They're almost undrivable. I honestly would say that. So we popped a windshield in right away. This one is from Super ATV. I will pop part numbers on your screen as these parts come into play. Secondly, you need a roof. This is the Polaris factory roof. It did not come with this machine, so we had to get it from a local Polaris dealer. They happen to have one in stock, so we bought it. It was not cheap. I'll pop that part number on your screen as well. I believe it was almost $800 just for this two-piece Polaris roof. Thirdly, if you're gonna run a windshield, you need a rear windscreen. Now, the reason why I say that, and you'd think maybe you wouldn't, but what happens is the wind comes up over this, you know what I mean? And it causes a massive vortex behind the machine as you're rolling down the road. And all that dust and exhaust gets sucked right into your cab because you have that windshield into place. So you're going to be exhaust fumed to death and dusted to death, which you still will get a lot of dust even with this in place. But all that exhaust, all that dust from running off-road will circulate back into your cab if you're not running a rear window while running a full front window. So you need those parts. And obviously you kind of see where we're going here. We're just trying to shelter, make the RZR some kind of a shelter, from winds and things like that. Thirdly, you get side winds cutting through here from one side or the other. In Minnesota in the winter, you are not comfortable. That's the worst thing, having below zero or worse wind chills banging into the side of your head while you're either driving. It can get very bad. So you need a cab enclosure. This one is from Side-by-Side Enclosures. I'll put the part number on your screen. Comes with a nice handy carrying bag. This is kind of a modular system in that you can actually leave this part up and take the rest of this off, and you can just leave this part up all year long if you want. We don't leave it up. We just take the whole thing down, and then second piece, this lower piece zips into place. It's attached on the frame in many spots using Velcro attachments that come built onto it. And then when you want to open your door, you just grab your zipper, bring it down to the back of the door like so, and this will flop. Boom, reach inside, and there's your door. Fully openable door. And you can get it from the inside as well. Obviously the zipper's on the inside as well as the outside. And I'm going to get a light on here shortly when we start going inside the vehicle. But you can see that just zips right up. So you are enclosed. This kit comes with some Velcro. This is the second year that we've used this enclosure on this RZR. They send enough to reattach Velcro to the machine twice, because in the summer I obviously don't want all this Velcro off, so I'll just peel it. You know what I mean? But this whole outside edge and the bottom lip of this enclosure is all Velcro. So you can see right here, see? It's all Velcroed in nice and tightly at the bottom of the doors as well. Just Velcros right on. That keeps the air out, right? And then we just, like I said, we just remove that, the hook side of the Velcro we just remove it in the warmer months because it's just a little bit unsightly. This is very durable material that this enclosure is made out of. This plastic, you've seen some of the really cheap ones possibly out there where this plastic is just total thin crap, and this is not the case here. All this material is very, very heavy duty material. Oh man, I haven't even opened a beer yet. So in that regard, this seems to be a very high quality piece. And the zippers are very heavy duty and generally very easy to use. They don't, you know, they're not bunched up or get caught or any. We've never had a problem with any of the materials in these cab enclosures. So kudos to side-by-side enclosures for that. So when we ran this, all we had to do was just fold our mirrors in. These are the really nice seismic side mirrors, heavy duty aluminum. Definitely worth the money. Again, kind of expensive, but worth it. As well as the seismic rear view. That thing does not move. It's super high quality, very, very expensive, but totally worth it because mirror does not sag or move at all. It's locked into place. If you get abusive with your machines like we do, that you can trust that that's always going to be in place. So one of the things you're going to need also are these bottom door halves. The premium comes with these from Polaris. If you have a non-premium version or didn't select this as an option, these top door halves are going to be there without this piece in place. So you're going to have to purchase those as well if you don't have the premium version, because you don't want all that wind coming in here during, you know, cold weather. So the premium version, among some other upgrades, comes with bottom door halves. So we did not have to purchase those, at least after the fact. We paid for them, obviously, with the price of the premium. Premium's worth it anyway. It comes with a bunch of other upgrades, shock upgrades. It comes with a ride command in the dash and everything. It's totally worth doing. And a unique paint scheme that none of the other machines have. The next thing you're going to want is a cab heater. We have the Inferno cab heater. Well, actually, this cab heater is sold under a few different model names, but it's the exact same thing. This is the only one that's available on superatv.com. So that's the one that we purchased. Just stepped inside this dusty earlier. So here is the cab heater that I'm talking about. Installation of this is pretty straightforward. It's got multiple settings for fan and then a temperature. It's a little weird because you got to turn it counterclockwise to turn the heat up, which is a little counterintuitive, but a little bit strange. These vents here, you can close them or open them or aim them anywhere you'd like. The blower motor is pretty strong. Comes with these little vents up here that you can open or close or spin around as well for defrost, or you can have them blowing towards your face or whatever. The only problem I had with installation of that was right in here in the top of the glove box, and you can see it right there. I actually had to trim out the top corner of this top glove box portion to allow that tube that connects to this to be put into place. So that was kind of something that I didn't really want to do, but it's a pretty minor modification, and no one's ever going to see it unless they're looking way down in here up toward the top, so I'm not really worried about that. One thing with this heater, on the back side of it, and you're probably not going to be able to see, well, I guess you are, on the bottom line here, see there's two lines. On that bottom line, it'll come with a rubber plug installed in the line, and you need to remove it. Otherwise, no coolant is going to go through your system. You'll be scratching your head for a long time trying to figure out what you did wrong and why you can't bleed the air out of the system. And that's why, because you forgot to pull the plug out of the bottom line on your cab heater, which is exactly what I did, because I'm an idiot. And that's, you know, probably why Coolio suddenly stopped returning my phone calls. So, yeah, you know how that goes, right? One thing you will notice is that there's a lot of spaces where there's air coming in, especially here, because that's where your knee is going to go, and when you're rolling down the road you're going to have some wind blowing in here, so you could just use some whatever kind of rubber trim or whatever as much as you can in places where that's going to occur. There is some happening here as far as, you know, wind that can get through here, but it's really not bad at all. So it's sealed up pretty well. Man, the inside of this is just dusty, but I guess that's what happens when you use your machines. By the way, another thing that is nice to have if you're going to run these off, or if you're going to run these on the streets, is a street legal system. Whoops, you hear how loud that fan is. This is the WD Electronics model. It's got comes with a horn. This is for street legal purposes. It also comes with, let me jump to the other side here. And now I turn that down. It also comes with a signal light controller. And on the Polarises, you'll have a built-in indicator already there. If your machine does not have one, it comes with ones that you can use in place. But just kind of nice to have that there for street legal purposes. Also the horn, and part of that system too is a rear view and a side view mirrors that you need to have to, quote, legally run on Minnesota roads. One neat thing that this kit does is, if you turn your signal light on, it turns this normally white fang light orange. So it comes with replacement fang lights, and it also comes with these neat little doodads here that run under the headlights, so you get kind of a progressive turning kind of effect with it. It's pretty cool. And of course, the kit will also switch your rear tail lights for signal light purposes. Comes with a frame here for your license plate mount with lights underneath it, so it'll light your plate at night. Again, just part of the street legal package. So with that kit, you can see that normally those fang lights are just white, and that switches to amber when you use your signal lights. WD Electronics. These are the original fang lights that came with the vehicle, and you might as well hang on with them. They don't switch. The quality on these fang lights is just as good, if not better, than the OEM ones. So that's good to have. One thing with this system, it's going to show your temperature right here. The engine thermostat usually opens up around the 180 degree range, and that's not necessarily warm enough to get proper heat pumping out of your, and we'll start this up and take it down the road and I'll show you what's going on with that. Is not necessarily going to provide you with with good hot air. So there are a couple things you can do with that. I have not done it yet on this machine, but I will here shortly. This grill pops out very easily. There's just 2 clips here and here. Just push them down. And this whole grill just pops out of place. You can set it wherever. Yeah, fun. Bugs in there. Get some light on the subject. What you can do that I have not done yet is cut a piece of cardboard and slide it in behind here. Don't forget to take that out in the summer, right? And I'll do that here in a little bit, but very easy. Just pop the bottom 2 tabs into place, push your grill in, and it's stuck back in. KFI winch, Assault Series winch, fantastic wide spool if you need one. KFI products. This is a fabulous winch, as well as the KFI Tiger Tail, which is pretty cool. This is a retractable tow strap, so if you need to get pulled out by a buddy, don't need to worry about you know, chasing your tow strap around. And the KFI rear receiver hitch mounted into place. Cappers Fabricating, KFI parts, very cool. Let's take this down the road and get that engine warmed up. Just like that. This will not let you go above 15 miles an hour unless you have your seatbelt plugged in. I guess that's probably a good thing. Rear view camera, which is nice. Says it's about 36 degrees out right now. I don't know how accurate that is. The wind is a little buff, but we're going to keep going here. I'm at 175. Thermostat should open shortly. Thermostat's open, heat's cranked, dark down there. Yeah, it's blowing warm air. These both towards me. Yep, she's blowing warm air, warmer air. Engine temp says 173. feel a drastic cool off in what we're getting out of this heater. I still haven't put the cover in the radiator yet, and I think that's what I'm going to do next. Comfortable in here right now. Now that our temperature's back up to 178, I think we're just getting too much air through the radiator. It's not allowing the engine to warm up. So let's go back to the garage. Yeah, we need to put some cardboard in that radiator, so let's do that. Pop this grill out. Just gonna get in here with a tape measure. Looks like we need 15 and, well, we're being exact, 15 3/4 by 14 1/4. Okay, doesn't need to be beautiful, just needs to be close enough for what we're doing, right? Now, here's always the fun part, right? Fit this thing in there somehow. Give it a little bit of bend just so we can get behind there. And I'm gonna have to take a little off the bottom because it's just not gonna work out. Take about 1 inch off. Try it again. Making sure we're not messing up any wires. There we go. Slip the other end in. There we go. Now, it's not really going anywhere. Can't really. Can't go down, can't go out the sides, can't go up, so we'll call that good. Pop our grill back on. And let's see what kind of difference that made. engine temp, 191, and the heat coming out of here is much more significant. So that cover in the radiator, see 193, you know, these are safe temps to run at, especially in the winter. We're just sitting here. The heat coming out of the bottom now is way better than it was before. So much more consistent heat, much more heat. So that's exactly what we were looking for. Heat's really good. Engine temp 212, 214. So that got a little warmer than I'd like. So what I'm gonna do, pluck this piece of cardboard back out. Eventually. So how these radiators work is the hot coolant enters the top and it exits the bottom. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna give this a little extra at the top. Take off 3 inches. Just so we get some cooling happening in the radiator. There we go. Pop this back in. So one thing that's important to keep in mind if you're going to do this to your RZR with the radiator blockage is you need to pay attention to your temperatures when you first start running the vehicle. Obviously it's going to be a lot different depending on what the outside ambient air temperatures are. Here in Minnesota, the cooler it gets, the cooler this engine is going to run. It can get down, as if you're from Minnesota, into the below zero, way below zero range, and that radiator is going to stay cooler. However, if you're going to do that, if you're going to block off your radiator, you really need to pay attention to the first time you run it, what those engine temperatures are doing, and then beyond that, as the temperature changes, because at 232 degrees, this RZR will shut off. That's overheated. It'll shut the engine down. If it happens to be in your case that you put that cardboard in the radiator and your engine is running hotter than you're comfortable with, I would say 210, 215 is getting 210 to 215 is getting up there pretty good. Just cut a little bit of cardboard off. How this radiator works is the hot coolant enters the top radiator hose, and then as it goes down through the radiator, the coolant leaves at the bottom of the radiator. You can trim either to the side, so you have kind of some fins that are still exposed to air movement through the radiator, or you can take off the top, or experiment which way you feel works best for your situation. Just make sure that you're not overheating your Polaris. That's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to overheat your engine. So if you're going to do this, it's very important that you dial that in when you're blocking off the radiator, so that you don't end up on the side of the road somewhere or worse, damaged equipment, right? So very important that you do that. That being said, now this interior of this RZR is very comfortable. We can run it anywhere we'd like in the winter. The cab and the enclosure, it feels very cut off from the elements. The side winds don't get to you. It's actually pretty darn comfortable to run. And that was our goal. Like I said before, we didn't want this to be sitting in the garage, you know, all winter long and not being of use. It's all a matter of how much use you really want to get out of your machine. But I can tell you that in the cold winter months when it feels like you're trapped in the house for month after month, being able to jump into a machine like this and just toot around is a very, very nice thing to have. It really helps with the cabin fever, which, you know, if you live in a cold environment in the winter such as we do, I mean, it gets to you. It can get to you. So if this video helped you at all, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe if you would. I don't expect you to hit the notification button because I don't want notifications on my cell phone every 2 minutes from YouTube, so I don't turn mine on. If that's your gig, go ahead and hit that notification button. We do a lot of other videos here, automotive content, side-by-side ATV, UTV content, as well as RC car content, which is kind of neat, high-end RC cars. So I appreciate the view if you stayed with me this long, and we'll see you on the next video. Take me to beer now. Nice.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.